So over the past couple of weeks, Wuthering Waves has been subjected to quite a lot of new updates, which has been absolutely amazing. Obviously, we've had a ton of new characters, ton of new story, and also a ton of events to do with the anniversary, but one of the big things that actually came out was Wuthering Waves on Steam, which I think a lot of people were mostly excited for, as this is an entirely new platform which can really help the discoverability of Wuthering Waves in the long run, and I've been asking for it for months, and well, now it's finally a thing. It seems like it's actually doing really good. Now, obviously, I came across this post over on r/Wuthering Waves saying that Wuthering Waves hits 10,000 reviews on Steam in only 20 days, with a very positive reception with 89% positive reviews. They say Wuthering Waves hits 10,000 reviews on Steam in only 20 days. The Steam launch was a big success for the game, topping at rank 7 for top seller games in the first day of release. Right now, wuwa is still sitting at the top 50 games in the top sellers category, which is absolutely amazing, as it's going to help Wuthering Waves grow even more. I mean, being in a category which is the top sellers, people like to look through what is selling well, as it's an indicator of, the game is good, and well, Wuthering Waves is up there, and I think that is absolutely amazing, and it's definitely going to help out with a lot of players coming over. And you can see here the proof is just there underneath repo and just above Forza Horizon 5, which is great. Obviously, it's still above like Overwatch 2, things like that. So it seems like Wuthering Waves has been a huge hit over on Steam. Now, people seem to be really liking this. It's got 1.1 thousand upvotes. They're saying, I feel like the only negative reviews were about the Steam Deck 2, which I do think that is actually the case. We went through some of the reviews in some of my previous videos, and essentially a lot of people were kind of complaining about the fact that there was no Steam Deck. But again, they did include in the description itself that we are going to be getting a Steam Deck version, and that they were working with Kuro to be, trying to get something like that out there as soon as possible. And I think that was exactly where most of the negative reviews were coming from, that 11% negative reviews. And also I think it's either a mix of that and also people that just don't really like the game, which again, that's to be expected. I'm pretty sure a lot of games have haters, and Wuthering Waves is especially one of them. If you guys have seen a lot of the videos I've covered, a lot of the Hoyoverse fans coming over and kind of trying to sabotage the game. But hey, we can keep on going. Obviously, people are saying, they're working on it with the Steam thing. They say, anniversary drama aside, a fun game is a good game. People play games to have fun. A lot of people seem to find the game fun, so the reviews are positive. I think it's just simple as that. Despite the lackluster anniversary, the game did have a ton of improvements to be how it is now. Of course, no game is perfect and there's areas to improve. I only hope Kuro delivers, which again is absolutely right. I feel like, obviously there has been people very mad at the anniversary awards and a lot of the stuff that has transpired with that. But at the end of the day, I think Wuthering Waves is still a really good game to play. I think a lot of people do respect the fact that they have really improved the game over the past couple of months, if not over the past year, during that kind of period before the anniversary. So again, I think they've done a very good job at bringing it forwards. But I also stumbled across something else quite funny to do with the Steam stuff, and also, the Steam charts are looking amazing, by the way. They've still managed to retain pretty much the same amount of players they did literally from day one of it releasing, which is absolutely insane. I mean, they're getting around 14,000 every single day, which is crazy. And so I think that it's going to be very popular. But this post I came across on Wuthering Waves Unfiltered, essentially saying I'm speechless. They say, whatever you do, do not check wuwa Steam community creations. Worst mistake of my life. And I was like really interested in what they meant by this. So I went over to Wuthering Waves Steam, and as you know, they've got these community hubs where people can share posts. And well, it's pretty crazy, obviously it's got people spamming memes, stuff like that, and also Dark Carlotta apparently. But essentially as well, they've also got some other things to do with, like, let's just say some Gouda posts. There's quite a lot over there. I don't know if they've managed to remove some of them. No, they haven't. Okay, well, these are some of the posts that are kind of being brought up over on the Steam page. And obviously, they're saying over on here, we're never beating the Gouda game allegations. And the community posts are pretty crazy, and I don't know if they get even crazier, so I'm kind of scared to scroll down even further. But essentially, it's a ton of different reviews and also artwork and other stuff, for example, like this, which I think, it's probably going to help out, entice people to come over to the game, because people do check out these community hubs sometimes just to see what the overall community behind Wuthering Waves is like. And well, maybe that will entice some people to come over and pull some of the characters, which I think is great. And I think it's quite funny that we have this little community going on in the background now which are just kind of creating these little posts over on Steam. And it's nice to see that there is a Steam community going on, because that's something that I didn't really expect. You know, for example, with the PlayStation version, they have a very tiny community due to the fact that PlayStation does have a big community already. And I think, you know, players of Wuthering Waves over on the PS5 were kind of coming together to make their own groups and stuff like that, and to make their own like posts and everything. And I think that was great. And I think, you know, I didn't really expect that to happen with Steam, seeing as Steam is just another platform. It's not really a whole entire new device or anything like that. But it seems like they are coming together as well. And they're saying that, yeah, it's 8,000 people in game right now. And it just seems like it's been a huge success for Steam. And, you know, I've been calling this from the start. You know, I've been calling it ever since, you know, we've talked about the PlayStation version coming out, ever since we talked about all of these other versions coming out. I've, you know, said Steam will definitely be the go-to one, especially with full discoverability, and it's happening now, and we've gotten 8,000 more players. Now, obviously, in terms of like revenue and things like that, we're not going to see a boost. Like, people aren't going to see the actual effect that this has had on the game in terms of monetarily. Why? Because obviously with the Gacha revenue chart and everything that gets covered publicly, it's usually to do with mobile revenue and not PC revenue. So we're not going to see anything from Steam or anything like that, because again, it doesn't count towards it. It's PC, not mobile. So again, you know, that's kind of a shame, because people are gonna, you know, probably try to spout online that, you know, the Steam version was a failure and that it didn't work. But you can clearly see that it says 8,200 in-game right now, which is amazing. And obviously a lot of those are spending on the game too, and I think that would be a rather large number if they were to include it in the kind of charts altogether. It would be nice in the future if whoever makes the charts can find a way to do PC stuff. I know it's quite hard with a lot of the analytics, so again, it might not be possible, but if there was some kind of way, it would be nice to implement that too, because I think there's a lot of games, for example, like Wuthering Waves, which are very popular among PC, and, you know, a lot of people just mainly play this, and there's a lot of games coming up too that are also like that. For example, like Silver Palace. I don't think anybody's going to be playing Silver Palace on mobile, maybe even Ananta as well. I feel like they're quite graphically intense. I mean, Silver Palace was made in UE5, so again, it's going to be very, very hard to run on a phone, if they even let you run it on a phone. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more PC based kind of gacha games out there, and I feel like a lot of you know, gacha game players actually do play on a PC instead. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but obviously some people like to use the silence as a way to say that it's failing, even though it's actually doing pretty good. But yeah, overall, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about just how good the kind of Steam version for Wuthering Waves is doing at the moment, and the new kind of record they've hit with reviews in the first 20 days. I mean, 10,000 reviews is absolutely mental, and for the fact of them being mostly positive and being in the top sellers, that's a huge achievement for Gacha Games there, and hopefully it can stay in that spot for, you know, even longer, because the longer it stays there, the longer it gets exposed to more people, and the more players that we might have coming over to Wuthering Waves and just joining in the community in general. So yeah, hopefully they keep this up, and I'm very excited for the future. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go to GameStop, use my code Gacha, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. They got a free shipping event on at the moment, so if you want to get some free shipping, then it only lasts for about like another week or so. So I definitely recommend using my code, because you get 10% off, and you also get that free shipping by using the code. And yeah, it's pretty much just a win-win. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.